You wake up, and before the day even begins, your mind is already loud. 1,000 thoughts pulling you in every direction. What if I fail? What if they don't like me? What if I'm not enough? You replay old conversations, imagine future disasters, and before you've even stepped out of bed, you've already lived 10 possible days, all in your head. This is what overthinking does. It makes you live every version of your life except the one that's actually happening. But the Stoics, men who lived 2,000 years ago without our distractions, notifications, and noise, understood this better than anyone. They too faced chaos, wars, politics, loss, uncertainty. Yet they found a way to stay calm, centered, and free inside their own minds. That's Stoicism, not a religion, not blind optimism, but a way of thinking that teaches you one simple truth. You can't control what happens, but you can always control how you respond. That's it. That's the key to ending overthinking. Because when you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, your mind finally rests. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, once wrote in his private journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Most of us live the opposite way. We try to control the world and let our mind run wild. Stoicism flips that. It trains you to control your inner world and let the outer world do what it will. When you overthink, you're trying to predict the future, rewrite the past, or prevent pain. But the Stoics remind us, the future doesn't exist yet, the past can't be changed, and pain is not the enemy. Our reaction to it is. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Think about that. Most of the things you're worried about haven't even happened, and yet your body feels like they already have. That's why you feel tired, not from life, but from your own thoughts. So, what would a Stoic do? First, they'd slow down, not run away from the noise, but step back and watch it. Imagine your mind as a storm. Most people are trapped inside it, getting tossed around by every gust of thought. The Stoic stands outside the storm and simply watches the clouds move. He realizes the storm is not the sky, just passing weather. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer behind them. The moment you recognize this, overthinking begins to lose its power. Epictetus, another great Stoic, taught something timeless. It's not things that disturb us, but our opinions about things. In other words, events don't make you anxious, your interpretation of them does. A traffic jam isn't stressful until you decide it is. Someone ignoring your message doesn't hurt until you decide what it means. Overthinking is just that, endless storytelling. Your brain invents stories to feel in control. But Stoicism reminds you that reality doesn't need your opinion, it just is. The modern world fuels overthinking because we have too much input and not enough stillness. We're connected to everyone, but disconnected from ourselves. Stoicism is the antidote, a return to simplicity, clarity, and control. Marcus Aurelius used to write to himself each morning, reminding his mind what truly matters. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. When you accept that everything could end, the argument, the opportunity, even life itself, suddenly the small worries shrink. You stop asking, "What if I fail?" and start asking, "What if I never even try?" That's Stoic power, clarity through mortality. The Stoics practiced something called premeditatio malorum, premeditation of evils. They would visualize worst-case scenarios on purpose so that fear lost its edge. If you imagine loss, failure, and embarrassment often enough, they stop scaring you. You realize that even the worst thing that could happen, you can handle it. Because what's left when everything goes wrong? You, your reason, your courage, your response. Overthinking dies when you realize that you've already survived everything you were once afraid of. The Stoics also practiced detachment, not emotional numbness, but emotional clarity. They loved deeply, worked hard, cared for people, but they didn't cling. They knew attachment creates fear, and fear fuels overthinking. If you love something, don't chain yourself to it. Appreciate it. If you lose it, don't break, adapt. Marcus Aurelius buried children, lost wars, and faced betrayal. Yet he wrote, "Accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs?" That's not giving up, that's trusting life. Because when you stop fighting what is, peace finds you. Now, let's bring this to today, modern Stoicism. You're not fighting gladiators or ruling empires. You're fighting your phone, your doubts, your endless comparisons. Every scroll is a reminder that someone's doing better, faster, happier. Stoicism teaches you to pause and ask, is this in my control? The answer is no. You can't control the algorithm, the world, or other people's success, but you can control how you see it. Turn jealousy into inspiration. Turn frustration into patience. Turn fear into preparation. That's how Stoics win, quietly, internally, every day. Another key Stoic principle is focus on the present moment. Sounds cliché, right? But it's ancient wisdom. Overthinking lives in the past and future. Peace lives in the present. The Stoics trained their mind to return again and again to now. Marcus wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." Seneca said, "He suffers more than necessary who suffers before it is necessary." When your mind runs away, bring it back with reason. Is this thought useful right now? If not, let it pass. That's Stoic meditation, not emptying the mind, but disciplining it. Every time you do this, your mind becomes quieter, sharper, calmer. And here's the beautiful part. Stoicism doesn't demand perfection. The Stoics were human. They got angry, anxious, tired. But instead of drowning in emotion, they studied it. They saw every struggle as a training ground. When life tested them, they didn't say, "Why me?" They said, "Try me." You can do the same. When you overthink, don't fight it, observe it. Ask, what is this thought teaching me? What can I control right now? That's Stoic action, responding with reason, not reaction. The more you practice, the quieter your overthinking becomes. It doesn't vanish overnight, but you become stronger than the noise. You become the calm in the storm. Modern Stoicism isn't about living like a monk or pretending emotions don't exist. It's about strength through understanding. You can live in a loud world and still be silent inside. You can face chaos and still move with peace. You can have thoughts and not be ruled by them. That's what Marcus meant when he said, "A man becomes invincible when he no longer tries to avoid suffering." Because once you stop fearing your thoughts, they stop controlling you. In a world obsessed with control, Stoicism gives you real power, the power to remain unshaken. The Stoics built this mindset not to escape life, but to live it fully, fearlessly, and meaningfully. They saw every challenge as an opportunity to strengthen their reason, every failure as a lesson, every moment as borrowed time. You can do the same. Start by accepting what you cannot change, then master what you can, your perspective. Stop trying to solve tomorrow's problems with today's peace. When the mind whispers, "What if?" answer with "even if." Even if it goes wrong, I'll adapt. Even if I'm rejected, I'll learn. Even if I fall, I'll rise. That's the Stoic way. Resilience over rumination. Remember, the goal isn't to stop thinking, it's to stop believing every thought. Your mind is a storyteller. You are the editor. Cut the drama, keep the truth. Life is happening right now, in this breath, in this heartbeat. Don't let your thoughts steal it from you. Because when you finally silence the noise, you'll realize something. Peace was never missing. It was always there, waiting beneath the chaos. All you had to do was stop fighting the storm and learn to stand in it. That is modern Stoicism for overthinking. Not an escape from the world, but mastery of yourself. And once you master yourself, the noise of life becomes background music. You stop chasing calm and start being it.